Welcome back, everyone. Dylan Mangel here with Nebraska Extension, and we have thoroughly entered the dog days of summer. This week, I'm working my way up the eastern half of Nebraska. Gonna road scout and scout some fields, see what's going on out there as we enter August, which is our peak disease season in Nebraska. I'm also heading up to South Dakota right now to go to the AgPhD Field Day in Baltic. So follow along as we watch what's happening in these fields and see what's starting to develop out there as disease season takes off in Nebraska. All right, so right off the bat, what I'm noticing is we're starting to see stressed beans for water out there. Now, there's a lot of things that can cause water stress in beans, and a subset of that is disease, going all the way back to those early infections that happened early on in the season from seedling disease. But more evident of what we might see in other fields, out there we've got a small spot that's drying down. Now, this is a rain-fed field. So it hasn't had any supplemental water. This could just be an area that's getting missed. Now, just be aware of these parts in the fields. Start to question what happened there. If you've got strip trials out, start to look at how they're impacted by water stress on these really hot days. All right, off to the next field. Let's see what we can spot driving around. Now, in a lot of these other fields we're driving through, the stands look great. The fields are tall. The water stress is going to be more modest. So you'll just start to see lighter shades of green way out in those fields. That might get worse if we don't get rain. There's one of those dry spots right here. It's just drying down. You can barely see it right now, but they're going to end up looking worse. Hopefully we'll get more water. I was a little frustrated the other night because Lincoln somehow got 2 inches of rain in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. with storms and all. I woke up and decided to check our 7 field sites around the state, check the weather there, see how much rain they got. One of them got 30 hundredths. 6 others got 0. But we need more rain out here. It looks like something's coming in the forecast still this week, so hopefully we'll get something. We're in Burke County now. Let's see what they got. Really good looking, consistent. Corn across the board just seems to be at tassel. I can't even see where a row might have once been in these beans. It's just a solid field of beans. I just saw the oddest type of field. All the beans, leaves were like flipped upside down, but it was consistent across the whole field, like they were, stressed a little bit. All the other fields around it looked fine though, so I don't know what variety was in there, but that was kind of interesting. Planes are still flying, putting on fungicide. There's a duster in here low in this field straight up here to the right. Just popped over these trees going down away from me, so we'll see if we can catch them turning around up here. And look at that tractor junkyard, that's awesome. He's spraying that corn, and literally in the distance in the back, I can see a whole second plane. They keep it exciting out here. There's weed control issues in beans still. Oh man, that plane snuck up on me there. Oh, that's exciting. Well, we've entered northern Nebraska hill country, and you can see some yellow spots out there on the beans. You can also see more crop dusters flying around. I think things are generally a little bit behind on water, but they look great. We're always behind on water, or way ahead, but these rolling hills look awesome though. A lot of wildflowers in the ditches this year. Oh, I do see dry patches out there. This part of the state, I think sometimes you get into some little sand pockets in the fields. And those become extremely evident as the season goes on. Water just can't keep up. We're about 6 miles south of Winnebago and 24 south of Sioux City. The state completely changes when you hit this line of hills. I've seen 3 crop dusters, and this right up here is the first chopper I've seen. So it's out in the field to the left. I bet we might align with it coming and banking over the road here in just a minute. There we go. I also just saw a drone flying corn as well. So things are pretty active up here. Everything looked good on the way up. We're gonna hit up more sites on the way back, and maybe I'll show you some of the AgPhD Field Day. But for now, we're crossing the Missouri River on a nice day, and we've made it.
Welcome to Iowa.
All right, just making it out to the AgPhD Field Day. First time ever being up here. So it looks like they got a lot of stuff, a lot of diversity, and excited to see these sunflowers over here. Well, let's get inside. I'm here with the Crop Protection Network today, so we'll go find them, hang out, and see what's fun to see in here. All right, just coming in. I love all the demo plots. We got sunflowers, grain sorghum, wheat, beans, corn. Look at that head. Look at that wheat head right there. Running out of the AgPhD Field Day, which was awesome. We had a great time. I didn't have enough time to video with everyone, but I met a ton of people, saw a bunch of good reps, and learned about some new products that are out there. It was a great show. Definitely gonna come back again. But I'm gonna head back for the evening, get some stuff done, and then tomorrow I'm gonna drive down through Nebraska again, but I'm gonna have more time to stop along the way to hit up some fields and actually observe under the canopy what's going on. Red crown rot's close to this area, so I wanna see northeast Nebraska if that's gonna start showing up. So that's gonna be top of mind as we're looking for those. So, all right, change of plan. We still have plenty of daylight left, so I think I'm gonna shoot down and see if I can hit some of these fields tonight. Probably get home late, but it'll be nice to sleep in my own bed. So I'm gonna take off and see what we can find. We'll be doing some sunset scouting, I think, but I think there's plenty of fields down there.
Welcome to Nebraska.
All right, we're back in the promised land, and we've got someone pulling a John Deere in front of us. I'm gonna shoot like an hour south to get to one of our first fields, and then we'll see what we find. I'm gonna hurry though, so I can get there before we lose too much light. Here's our first chopper spraying up the drive. First site, here we go. So first thing right off the bat, it's just more humid. They got more water. It's pretty wet right here, right now. The beans look pretty good. This is 15-inch beans. You can see big cracks, but it's wet, like they just got some water. Oh, look at that caterpillar. So I'm still in the entrance. I'm gonna walk in a little bit more and get into some of these thick, narrow row areas. And then, as usual, we're gonna walk through and look for wilting down areas. I'm not seeing anything though. I mean, it's looking really nice. And then I'm gonna open the canopy and look into here. I do see a trifoliate right there that's wilted for some reason. So let's go grab that. Oh, and look at that. It came off easy, and look, there's a hole right at the base. You can see right there is where it came. There's a deck D stem borer in that plant. I don't even need to split it. I'm that certain, because that's exactly how they look every time. So that's becoming more of an issue. That plant's gonna be just fine though, even with that stem borer in there. It's not gonna contribute to yield loss, especially in these narrow road beans that are gonna hold each other up. Because it might contribute to lodging, but we've got a strong enough stand here that it's not going anywhere. These beans are pretty tall too. You can see we've got yellow leaves down here at the bottom. That's not a huge issue because those leaves aren't really getting much sunlight. They're not really doing much down there. We've got some leaf spots on there. We've got some brown spots, just a bunch of little things that are gonna jump onto wet leaves. But it doesn't really matter if they damage those because, again, they're not really being used for a whole lot. I mean, this would be an ideal white mold field if any showed up, but it's such a strong field, I don't think anything's going to. Here's some what look like SDS symptoms starting to show up. That's not a perfect symptom, and it's also on the bottom of the plant. We would expect SDS to start from the top down. But something to pay attention to if you start to see those foliar symptoms on the top of the plant. Be aware. Yeah, here's some bacterial blight on this soybean. Middle canopy, not gonna spread though. Look how dark it is down in this canopy. It's dark, it's dense, it's wet. It's just a really nice night out here tonight. Notice that despite the moisture, the soil surface still has dry areas, and it's gonna continue to dry down unless we have a lot of moisture. So we need a lot of water to make white mold happen. All right, we're losing light quick, and I've still got 2 more sites that I'd like to go look at. So let's get back to the truck and get down the road.
Your route may be affected by severe thunderstorm watch.
It is getting a little dark to the east. The west doesn't look so bad. There's a lot of green out there right now and a lot of moisture. I'm wondering what's going to play out over the next 2 weeks here in Nebraska. Maybe the next month. It's going to be really telling. But we're starting with a premium product right now, Nebraska soybeans. We might be getting some storms. We might be getting some rain, but we need it. I've seen 6 pivots running in the last 2 miles, so they need water here. This field on my left is one we've got an on-farm research trial in. And maybe right up here as we crest the hill, we'll be able to see it a little bit better. Now that pivot, the far pivot's running down there. The close pivot's not. Let's walk out there and see what we can see. So this was a field with a really strong history of sudden death syndrome. 2 years ago, we were in this field with our TAPS trial, and it hit pretty hard across the whole thing. We came back in, and perfect spot for an on-farm research trial. Japanese beetles are feeding on this a little bit, but we're not to that 20% defoliation. That's going to be a threshold. We've got some dead plants. Now, when I find these, especially on the edge, I like to come up and just push on them and bend them over, and it cracked. I barely pulled on it. That's a soybean gall midge plant, especially on the edge like that. Phytophthora ones can look similar though. Let's walk out there and see if we can find some sudden death syndrome or the early symptoms of it. It's not quite ready for it to really pop, but when we get drier, that's when this will really show. Let's pick a track. Ooh, it's wet. Yeah, we've got some light symptoms, just maybe hinting to show on some of the plants. Some that were water stressed already by gall midge or other problems, they're showing maybe a little more. We'll keep monitoring this. Notice I'm in a bit of a bowl right here, a low area. Water tends to hang out on this side of the field, and that's where it's worst. We've got treatment in this field. We've got several seed treatments in on-farm research trials across the system. This one happens to be a Victrado, the new Syngenta product. Really the first time we've gotten to see it in action. So the other day I could see some differences in water stress across the field, all relating to that early season infection probably. So we'll continue to monitor and report back on this one. All right, as for me, I think I'm gonna call it here. We're running out of daylight. I don't have time to get to another field where I can really dig into it. And the other turn of events is the mosquitoes really popped on this one. I'm done with that. And I think I'm gonna go home, see my kids. So thanks for following along this week. We're kind of running all over the place, but I'd like to bring you along and show you a little bit of what we're seeing. So feel free to reach out in the comments if you have any questions. Otherwise, go to the Crop Protection Network or online to cropwatch.unl.edu. Thanks for watching.